Have you ever been sitting at your desk at work? Your heart is beating, your brain is spiraling, you are doing your best to look normal, but inside you are seconds away from completely falling apart. Maybe you're rereading the same email over and over again. Maybe you're convinced that you're about to get fired. Maybe your body feels buzzy or shaky or that whoosh of panic. You feel hot, you feel tight all at once. And you're thinking, I cannot have a panic attack here. No, please do not fall apart. If that is you, this episode is for you. Hello, my name is Kimberly Quinlan. I am an anxiety specialist and I am on a mission to equip 10 million people this year to help people with anxiety with science backed, evidence based skills that actually help. Workplace anxiety hits different. It's not just anxiety alone, it's anxiety mixed with performance pressure. It is income pressure. You are feeling like your reputation is on the line. You have a fear of being judged by the people around you. You have a fear of being exposed by all of your peers, by all of the people in a job that you maybe have worked really, really hard to get to the place that you're at. You're expected to function, to perform, to respond quickly, to think clearly. And anxiety says, let's do the opposite of that. In this video, you are going to learn practical science-based tools to help you feel calm when you feel like your anxiety is completely off the charts. Now, we're not here to eliminate anxiety. We're not here to make it disappear, but we're here to help you function more effectively with anxiety. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you 4 important steps to help you stay calm at work, but there is going to be one massive shift that brings all of this together at the end. So make sure you stay for that. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to use micro regulation skills. Now, these are not dramatic fixes. They're simple things that you're going to practice, like pressing your feet firmly on the floor. If you're sitting at your desk and you are so flustered, do something simple that can ground you. Slow your exhale down. Maybe keep your breathing very gentle and very regulated. Doesn't have to be slow. It could just be a natural flow of breath. Maybe you gently unclench your jaw, gently drop your shoulders. Maybe you put your hand on your chest or on your thigh to help you ground in that sensation. Step number 2 is to shift from calm down to proceed anyway. If your goal is to calm down before you start working, anxiety is going to win every time. So what I want you to do instead is to say to yourself, I can feel anxious and answer this email. I can feel anxious and sit in this meeting. I can feel anxious and give this presentation. I want you to remind yourself that you can bring anxiety along. If your focus is to get that anxiety to go away, it's probably only going to make it worse. Now, number 3 is address any catastrophic work thoughts that you may have. Now, you may be having anxiety for multiple different reasons. If your anxiety is fueled by this idea of like, I'm going to mess up, or they're going to think that I'm incompetent, or what if I lose my job, or this panic attack will ruin anything. Now, what we want to do is address those and correct those, because the truth of the matter is everyone's had anxiety at work before. We've all had days where we've melted down or not behaved as well as we wanted, and we can always repair from that. However, if you're someone who's struggling with a different condition, maybe it's your OCD is impacting your work, or your social anxiety, or your depression, or other things, you may want to correct those catastrophic concerns as well. Now, the 4th thing here to do is focus on one thing. I want you to think here about a skill that the Navy SEALs use. Now, we've actually had a Navy SEAL on your anxiety toolkit before, and they shared the most cool strategy that they use when they are under immense degrees of anxiety and pressure in their work. And that is to set very small goals to work towards. So when they are on their berms and they're training to become a Navy SEAL and they haven't slept in 4 or 5 days and they're saying that they have to carry a raft for a 2 mile run, all they do to get through that very, very intense situation is to pick a spot and just focus getting to that spot. Once they've gotten to that spot, they leave it all behind and they pick another spot to focus on. They say, okay, I have to run 2 miles. I'm going to run to that one shell over there. Okay, once they get to the shell, they'll say, I'm going to run to that next lifeguard station. Okay, once they get to that, oh, now I have to do 100 push-ups. Okay, I'm going to focus on just the first 5. Once they get that first 5, they're going to move on. Okay, now I'm going to focus on the next 5. And they're just building out small, tolerable, doable goals. And you can do that in work as well. Let's say you're in a meeting, you might say, okay, I am going to just stay present and stay focused while I listen to Jeff talk, right? And then because you're anxious, you've got a presentation coming. Okay, then I know that Sally has to present. I'm just going to focus on Sally, the sound of Sally's heels clack, 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 clippity clapping onto the ground, or the sound of Dawn over there tapping a pen on. I'm just going to bring my attention to one thing I can do and then the next thing I can do. Maybe it's writing this one email. Maybe it's signing off on this one task. Maybe it's helping this one customer. You're just going to set tiny little goals and keep building from those. Now, I did say that there is one main mindset shift that you are going to need to have, and that is it is okay to ask for help. This episode is not about us just telling you to tolerate your anxiety and get on with it and focus on that. You are allowed to talk with your boss if you're really struggling. Talk with your HR division if your anxiety is really getting in the way. Now, this won't be helpful for everybody. Not everyone has the most understanding boss. But if you're really struggling, it's okay to go to them and say, listen, I'm working through my anxiety. I have a plan. I just want you to know that I'm working on this so that if you see me shaking or you see me, taking a little extra, that you know that that's what and I have a plan, you can talk to them about it. The next thing you can do is ask for feedback. If your main anxiety is about how they think you're performing, go and ask them for feedback. There's nothing wrong with saying, listen, I've been noticing a lot of anxiety about how I'm doing and I want to do really well. This is really important to me. I so value having this job. I want to be excellent at it. Do you have any feedback for me? I have found as a boss, when my staff come to me and say, I'm experiencing anxiety about that, I find it's because I have not put in place a procedure for them or a strategy for them. It's actually more on me than it is on them. And so it allows us to troubleshoot, oh, you're anxious because you're not sure what to do in this situation. Let's make sure we have a procedure that you can follow so that if anyone is ever in that situation ever again, they can go to our procedure policies and look up how to handle this situation. Again, a really good boss will be fine to talk with you about feedback and what you can do better. If you need to have someone to talk to about the struggles that you're having, have them and ask them, what would you do in this situation? Now, we don't want to overdo this, but sometimes they may give us some really helpful advice. You're definitely not alone. Another thing is take mini breaks. If you're really struggling, it's okay to say, okay, I'm going to write this email and then I'm going to give myself a quick mini break, run and get some water, come back. Then I'm going to focus on that next email, or I'm going to go get a coffee and I'm going to sip on this delicious tea while I do my emails. Another thing is, if you're really struggling, do not hesitate to seek mental health care. Find a mental health provider that can help you. Now, of course, if you don't have access to a mental health provider, we do have some really helpful skills and resources at CBT School. One that really comes to mind is the Rumination Reset. This is a mini course that I created to help you learn how to stop ruminating. If you find that you're at work and you're spending a lot of your time going, they think I'm this and they hate me and I'm not good and I'm the worst, and then you're going to need the Rumination Reset. It will show you the science science-backed skills that I teach my clients on how to manage rumination in the actual moment. So head on over to the Rumination Reset for that. And we also have your anxiety and panic toolkit. If you're struggling with generalized anxiety and panic, you will love this course. It will walk you through specifically. Remember, we talked about those catastrophic thoughts? It will help you learn how to restructure those and manage those in the moment. And again, if you've got OCD and other conditions, you can head over to cbtschool.com. We've got so many specific resources for you there. Now, I want you to remember, you are not weak. You are not incompetent and you are not broken. In fact, I find that some of the anxious clients that come to me for support are the most intelligent, loving, wonderful, funny human beings on the planet. You are not broken. It just means that you need some skills to help you. Now, your homework here is to practice the skills that I've given you. But in addition, I want you to be as radically kind as you can. We are not allowed to use critical words. We are not allowed to punish for the struggles that you're having. Can you make that commitment to me before we finish up today? Please, please commit to being kind. Now, as always, please do share these videos and episodes. I am on a mission to help 10 million people, and I won't be able to do that on my own. I love to think of this like chocolate. It's better when we share it. And I am on a mission to help provide resources for folks with anxiety because there are too many people out there. There are millions who have anxiety and are not getting the correct care. So please do share any of our resources that you find helpful. It makes me so happy that you would do that. And as always, thank you for being here. I know how valuable your time is, and I really, really appreciate that you've chosen to spend some time with me. Again, head over to CBT School, and I will see you in the next episode.